Good morning, welcome to Newsline. I am Bandula Jayasekara. My friend and colleague Faraz Shaukat Ali is on a treetop holidaying in Adelaide. I hope he'll be able to get down from that tree. Today we are going to discuss about the sarong, something different, how a young Sri Lankan is taking your sarong and my sarong to the world. Before we introduce him, we will show you a little bit of segment of the sarong and then we'll start the program. Now let's watch the segment on the sarong.
Sarong is traditionally worn by men in Asian and Arabic countries, but occasionally we can see women use it too. Other than Arabic countries, sarong is being worn in countries like Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and especially in Somalia in the African continent. One of the men's attire is sarong. People in European countries can be seen in sarongs at beach activities. A normal sarong, which is 1 yard in length and 2.5 yards in height, is identified in different names in different countries and is being made by different materials. Even though Sri Lankans call it sarong, in Singapore and in India, sarong is called as mundu or lungi. Even though sarong is very popular among Sri Lankan men, it can be proved that every villager used to wear the sarong long ago. In the modern days, the sarong is a trending fashion. Sarong is also a part of Sri Lankan's national dress and shows simplicity.
Welcome back to Newsline. It's all about the sarong, and our guest today is Asanka Dimel. Good morning, Asanka.
Good morning, Bandula.
Now, Asanka was introduced to us by one of our viewers, a regular viewer from Australia, our friend Sivaji Sri Ramanathan. When he was in Sri Lanka, he met him at the Good Market, and that's how Asanka is here with us. Earlier we had a program on our Sinhala program, Pathikada. Asanka, now can you tell our viewers a little bit about your background?
Yes, I've grew up over here, and I've been living in the United States for about 22 years up to now. And recently I have moved to Sri Lanka to launch this business. And
but what did you do in the United States?
I was in technology. I was based in San Francisco, working in Silicon Valley, building new technology companies, especially in the startup scene.
So you're being modest, but I was told that you're a Harvard graduate.
I am Harvard graduate. I did able to study there for a while and had a wonderful education, in the system.
And you also did public policy in addition.
Yes, I have a computer science and a public policy background at Harvard.
And why didn't you want to continue with all that? Why the sarong?
That's a great question, Bandula. I mean, part of it is passion, part of it is a calling, and part of it is wanting to. I think Sri Lanka is at a place where it's definitely looking for a new identity and defining a new identity.
But who gave you this idea? Now you have a sarong, right? It's Lowy, we'll talk about it more later. But what made you give up all these and try to develop the sarong?
Well, that's the idea of being honest to your calling. I really did feel that it was time for me to come over here and launch this business and take the sarong, which we all feel very proud about, and we wear, to introduce it to the world.
Now you spent 22 years in the US and your parents spent for you. And what did they say when you returned and tried to become a businessman, especially sarong? What did they say?
I think long ago they have stopped thinking as to what I'm going to do next, because I keep surprising them. But they're quite happy that I'm doing something that makes me happy, and also they're happy that I'm in Sri Lanka, so that I get to see them more often than when I was in San Francisco.
So they are not like other parents said, they didn't shout at you and said, we spent all this money and see what the hell are you doing and you're walking in a sarong. Didn't they say that? Or
no,
they are good parents?
They are quite proud of that I'm doing something that I'm quite passionate, and it is bringing joy to a lot of people. The sarongs we are making is, you can see on our social media later on, it's bringing a joy to a lot of people, and they feel proud
Yeah, I mean, let me get the control room to show some of the segments. I hope they can show you, and then we can talk more about the sarong.
Absolutely.
This is the sarong, right? This is
one of the blue one is called a tuxedo sarong.
yes.
The other one is we call it a poppy sarong. It's a beautiful flower kind
So
of
this
printed in.
both for men and women.
Yeah, we make sarongs for the poppy one is very popular with the girls,
Yeah.
and the tuxedo one, of course, very popular with the guys.
So that's so now I have some. In fact, today I chose not to wear a sarong, but what I've noticed in this Asanka's sarongs, you have a pocket.
That is
Right.
correct, right there.
Where you have a pocket in this sarong. So this is where you can. What I mean, who gave you this idea? Was it your idea?
Yeah, I think after dropping your phone several times, and
Yeah.
I enjoy wearing sarongs, and
Yeah. Yeah.
these days,
Yeah. So these are the sarongs. I can show again. Wait. This is the pocket.
yeah,
Where's the pocket? You know, you have a pocket here.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's yeah. So that's the pocket. Yeah. So then about this idea, because
Yeah, I mean, the idea was to take sarongs to a new audience.
yeah.
Not just people who are used to wearing it, but make it accessible to a lot more people who wear sarongs. And to make that happen, I wanted to make it easy for them to wear. So all Lovi sarongs comes with belts,
Yeah.
a pocket, lining,
Why is the belt?
because it's easy to run around, and you don't have to worry about your sarong coming down.
Do you think most Sri Lankans are worried about it, or just the ones in Colombo are worried about this?
I think anybody who's not used to wearing sarongs on a regular basis, but even people who wear sarongs on a regular basis, that it's easier. You don't have to be conscious about it. Once you get used to wearing it with the belt, you can run around very easily and
So I
go on
find this
with your day.
is easier because normally when you wear the other belt, like the stomach comes up, and so this is easier.
This is much easier. Plus, it also allows you to drape it in several different ways. That way, you can style it differently. The same sarong can be worn in 10 different ways because you can tie it more easily.
But the villagers doesn't need a belt. I still think it's Colombo and then the foreigners. I'm sure
Yeah,
they're the ones who will need a belt.
well, as I said, one of our goals is to introduce this to people who are not wearing it today.
So you want to make the sarong popular.
I want to make the sarong popular and bring it to a new audience that welcomes this idea.
It's very interesting. I mean, we have to say this openly. Also, Barbara Sansoni, I mean, she also made the sarong popular once upon a time, and now you're taking it beyond. But in Sri Lanka, especially in Colombo, I mean, people laughed at the villagers, called them sarong johnnies. So, I mean, who are the real sarong johnnies, Asanka?
Well, I would actually...
They look down on the sarong once upon a time, but you're changing it.
Well, I think people change their minds a lot of the time, but my opportunity and what our mission is to provide them with choices. These sarongs, for example, are made with they have leather stitching on them.
Yeah, these show
this
it.
is genuine
This is
leather stitched into a sarong.
Yeah.
So providing people options that they can really dress and
How
to
much
express
is
this way.
one of these sarongs?
Our sarongs range.
This one, how much will this cost?
I think the leather one is about 9,000 rupees. Our sarongs range from about 4,000 rupees onwards.
Yeah.
So
how much is what you're wearing? How much is
it's 4,000 rupees onwards.
So 4,000 to
4,000 to about 9,000 rupees. And we find that the lot of people who love sarongs, it is not some impediment. They understand the value. They understand that to make something beautiful and crafted, it costs money to put good products into them. So they quite lovingly have adapted the sarong.
Now, where are you marketing these? Which countries?
Yes, currently we have sold to about 13 countries.
What are the countries, if you can tell our viewers?
Yeah, including US, UK, France, Spain, Australia, Canada, a lot of the countries in the Middle East, and a number of countries, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh.
What's the
Malaysia.
response, Asanka?
I think it's been really wonderful to see the response we're getting. The
You
fact
can tell our viewers, what do they say?
they love it. They feel proud about it. I think one of the things that the sarong that is tapping into is the pride of our own identity. We have somewhat not innovated on the sarongs over the last
So do you
number
give a
of
small
years.
description about your sarong when you sell it to the foreign market?
Yeah, absolutely, because I think part of the mission for Lovi is to educate people about sarongs, but also in general about Ceylon and Sri Lanka. And that idea of Sri Lanka is,
So you have a
helping to spread
description
that.
now, say if you say you are marketing in Spain,
Absolutely.
you tell them, look, this is how sarong originated and all that.
Yes, our sarongs come with a little bit of a description about sarongs and the place there where it comes from.
But can we claim the sarong to be ours? No, but it's available in Indonesia and so many other countries.
Absolutely. From Vietnam to, as your description earlier mentioned, as Vietnam to Somalia, we have sarongs. And even in the Mediterranean as well as the Caribbean, a lot of people wear sarongs.
What's special about the Sri Lankan sarong?
I think it's
Then
just-
I'll come to the Lovi sarong. You tell
Yes.
me what's special about the Sri Lankan
I think the
sarong.
Sri Lankan sarong is in the history of sarongs in Sri Lanka goes back more than 200 years. So over time we have adapted it. Most people over here, I would say large majority of especially men over here, look forward to coming home and jumping into a sarong. Not just the fabric of it, but the lifestyle around the sarong is our own. We have made it our own.
But now you have a pocket. What
Yes.
happens if anybody copies it?
I think, well, first of all, they say imitation is the best form of flattery. We are trying to take the sarong to a new audience. We actually do have a US patent also regarding how
So it's
we have
difficult for
designed-
them to copy or...
Well, in a certain way, it's illegal for them to copy without getting permission. But beyond that, the idea is for us to introduce the sarong, innovate on it, come up with new designs, new colors, match it to the global trends, global fashion trends that's happening, and bring it to an audience, including our young ones, that who wants to adopt sarongs, not because we say so, or that you have a wedding to and you have to wear a sarong, but they lovingly, willingly do it. That's
Now-
what we are looking to.
Yeah, now anyway, we'll show another clip of this about Asanka sarongs. It's our day of sarong today, and so now you're talking of the young ones, Asanka. Have you
Yes.
convinced them? What's the response from the young ones?
I think the response has been wonderful. In many of the Colombo Fashion Week events or the recent Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week, you saw number of them wearing sarongs.
Your sarong.
Yes, Lovi sarongs. I think just the idea that we are creating a product that appeals to them, that speaks to them. Young ones today, they all carry a cell phone.
Yeah,
So
is it just a fashionable sarong or a sarong?
it is a sarong and it is fashionable.
So now I see you walking around
Yes.
in Sarong. You came to meet us several times in Sarong.
Yes.
How do people react? How do they respond to you?
I
do
think
they
the-
question you?
I think the response has been wonderful. They feel that there's a pride about our sarongs. I think somebody wanting to openly engage them about our own identity gives them pride, and I wear it with pride. I think that's the part that people connect emotionally to Lovi sarongs.
What do they ask you?
They ask me, many of the questions that you asked. What prompted me to do this? Why is it called Lovi? What's the difference between these sarongs and
Yeah, why
what
is
you're
it
used to?
called Lovi?
Well, I want Lovi, as you remember, it's a fruit from Sri Lanka,
Yeah.
and it's the local cherry, if anything. And I have very fond memories. And when I was thinking of a name for a company, I wanted something that is approachable to people, something memorable. In English, it also sounds very much like love. So the romanticism that I have about this country, Sri Lanka, the idea of Ceylon, and building a new identity around that is what I was wanting
So
to
it's
do.
more than Lovi, it's more about love.
Yes.
So that's your marketing.
I mean, I think it's approachable, it's memorable, and it's short. So it's easy.
What
to
do
say.
people say? You think they, I mean, if you talk of the price, do they find it affordable or do they complain? We
Absolutely.
got from 4,000 to 9,000.
Yeah, absolutely. If anything, we are introducing sarongs even more higher price because we are creating different products. The price has not been a barrier at all for us.
But it's more Colombo based, right? You think you could reach out to Kandy and to Gaul and other places?
Absolutely. We just launched a store in Gaul Fort.
Yeah.
We get orders we do free delivery in Sri Lanka. So we get orders from everywhere in Sri Lanka. We've received the orders from
So you're on
Kandy.
Instagram, right? You're on Instagram.
I'm on Instagram and Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
We have a website, lovisarongs.com,
Yeah.
where people can order sarongs, and we ship to all over Sri
Yeah.
Lanka, Trinco,
Yeah.
Puttalam, all these
I'm very
areas.
curious about the restaurants from Trinco and Putlam. Who are
people
your
are-
buyers? Who are the people who have purchased?
Well, people who really love fashion, and people who want to be fashionable in a sarong. Why shouldn't sarongs be fashionable? And that's the idea. It's what they feel comfortable, because if you feel comfortable and you want to dress in it, you want to express yourself, your national identity, who you are, I think that gives a wonderful idea.
Have you managed to convince any of these politicians who are wasting public money to wear your Lovi sarong? So you don't have to talk politics, but I can. But then people who are wasting public money to wear Lovi sarongs, have you managed?
I think what I know is the number of politicians and people in public figures do wear Lovi sarongs, and I think they wear it with pride and ease. So that's what I know.
This now the Colombo Fashion Week.
Yes.
Is this one, right?
The Colombo Fashion Week is coming up. I think the spring-summer one is coming up in March. And there was
this month? No, nothing.
I think that one is a little bit. We had the Mercedes-Benz
Yeah.
Fashion Week, and then the Colombo Fashion Week is coming up in March.
In March. So are you taking part in?
Yes, we are looking forward to taking part in Colombo Fashion Week.
Now, one of the viewers, I don't know, sent me a message saying that you look like Peter de Almeida. I don't know, they've heard of Peter de Almeida. He's one of our good, respected stage actors. This is, I just want to say what this viewer was saying. You should Google Peter de Almeida. I mean, so coming back now, what have you got to tell our young ones, their parents? Because you went to Harvard, I would say you gave it up, you graduated, but you gave it up because some people expected you to be there. What have you got to tell them?
I think the world is changing, the world economy is changing to a creative economy. We have gone through the industrial revolution, manufacturing, and then maybe even information economy. Now we are in a place called creative economy. What I've learned, I'm using it. My education, my experience, I'm using it to do a creative economy product.
But could you elaborate on this creative economy. Take your time. You have
Absolutely.
few minutes to explain.
The creative economy is where, because of the internet, we have access to a much wider market. And the idea is, how do we produce something authentic, something that people can identify with, both economically and emotionally, and take that product to a wider world. And that requires certain different kind of thinking, and that's what I'm here to create a company along that. A lot of the young kids today over here are already doing it. There's a very growing, vibrant startup economy in Sri Lanka, especially in the technology area. A lot of people are creating new companies, new brands. They're thinking differently, and I am very encouraged by it, because the economy that the 16-year-olds of today is growing up to is an economy that is different than their parents grew up to. So as they grow up to this new economy, they need to have the skill set, understanding how that world is going to work.
Are you willing to share your knowledge with them if they want?
Absolutely.
They ask for your help?
Absolutely. I would love that very much. Part of the reason for me to move here and to start this business is to engage that community. I think it's one of the most encouraging things I've received personally, being able to work with a lot of the talent that is in Sri Lanka. They need guidance. They're not exposed to how sometimes things are done, or like how much that they can grow. But that is a wonderful opportunity to work with them.
How did you convince your wife to wear the sarong? Because she's American, right? So yes. How did you convince her?
I think just creating sarongs that people love to wear. I think one beautiful thing about fashion and clothing is you don't have to convince. You create a product that appeals to them, that naturally makes them inquisitive and curious, and people will try it on,
that
on
doesn't
their own
answer
time.
my question, so I really want to know about it.
I think it's just that she likes how it feels. They are beautiful and they are beautifully made, so why not try it on?
So she didn't think you were crazy when you started this venture?
No, I think she thinks I'm crazy for more reasons than that I'm doing sarongs. But that's of course, but she's very supportive, and we are very encouraged and lucky to be able to be here and do a project that we both feel very.
Do your parents
involved.
wear this sarong?
Yeah, my parents wear this sarong.
Only Louis sarongs?
Well, that's a little tricky, because my dad, does have a lot of Barbara Sansoni sarongs, and
what about the
me
batiks?
too.
Yeah,
I think there are beautiful batik sarongs. We have, there are a lot of, talented batik crafts people here that are doing really nice sarongs and other batik items. So we haven't really got into it because there's already a revival in batik. But sarongs, I think, has been a little bit neglected. So we are here to, our mission is to revive, reclaim it, make people feel love in it.
I like what you say, reclaim the sarong.
Yes.
I mean, that's to a certain class of people. In the village, everybody wears sarong. They don't need bells. It's very comfortable.
Let's take this argument that in village, the village is not one place.
Yeah.
There are so many different types of people in any group of people, and their aspirations are varied, and many of them are seeking a sarong that actually speaks to their fashion identity. So I think the opportunity for people to express themselves in clothing is always been there and always will be there, and for us is to provide to satisfy that demand.
I personally think, this suits doesn't go in Sri Lanka. I think more and more people can wear sarong to weddings or the national costume. It's much more comfortable.
It is from a weather standpoint, it is definitely more comfortable to wear a handloom sarong or a sarong. But the thing is, I think when it comes to clothing, what comes through is the confidence that you have about your own self. Your self-confidence comes through in clothing. So what makes you feel comfortable, confident? If you feel confident in a sarong, you will feel very confident in a suit too. But if you are not feeling comfortable in your national identity, I think that will show itself through.
I hope and pray our viewers take note of that, and thank you very much, Asanka, for joining us. And my wish is that with your help, that we should create more sarong Johnnies and sarong Jennies, and that, like you said, that you will help Sri Lanka to reclaim the sarong. Thank you very much, Asanka, for joining us.
Thank you.
And Faraz Shaukat will be back with you tomorrow, and have a nice day.